All right, welcome back to the hot take table.
Hello.
I'm Dylan.
I'm Raph.
And welcome to this episode where we're going to be talking about this game.
This one.
Not just this one though, because we're talking about
all of the ones affiliated with this
one
too.
We're talking about
this game
Persona.
and its neighbors.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think most of the time when people are talking about all the Persona games, they're interested in talking about what's the best one. We're not interested in what's the best one. We agree on what's the best one. It's 3.
It is 3.
If you want to know what the best Persona game is, it's 3. Go play 3.
It's 3. If you're mad about it, please come in the comments. Please educate us, but you will be wrong. You gotta make peace with that from the get-go.
That's not a hot take though, so we're not even gonna be talking about 3. No spoilers for 3. Not really talking about it much.
Full disclosure, originally, Dylan hadn't played too much of 3 beforehand. And I was gonna come in and be like, no, you can't be mean to 3. Then he started playing something and he was like, I see what you see.
It's the best JRPG I've ever played.
It's baller all the way through.
It's phenomenal. It's great.
So good. It's so good.
But we're gonna be talking about what the worst Persona game is. And that's why 5 is coming up, because this is my pick. My pick for worst Persona game, Persona 5.
But Dylan, what about the earlier Persona games?
Look, all right. Ralph,
we gotta address this. We gotta address this right now.
Have you played Persona 1 and 2?
I've not beaten them, but I have played them.
All right, viewer.
Actually, I have beaten Persona 2. The 2 Persona 2s. I have not beaten Persona
Eternal
1.
Punishment or
Innocent Sin?
Innocent Sin.
Both. I'm trying to remember.
The one with Hitler in it and the one that doesn't have Hitler in it.
I saw Hitler.
All right, that's the first one.
All right. I'm because I know like the state of their localization has been tenuous in the past, and I'm trying to think if like I had to dabble with patches or not because there are PSP re-releases. But I am fuzzy on it, truth be told.
I haven't played Persona 1 and 2. You watching this probably haven't played Persona 1 and 2. I don't want to get super in the weeds with it right now. So you've kindly agreed to just accept that we're just talking about 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, like I begrudgingly. I think like the take Dylan was gonna come in with originally was that Persona 1 and 2 are a different series, and I wouldn't go that far. But
they're a different sub-series.
I don't even know if I could still go that far, but I'm willing to play nice today. Otherwise, I think sorry, Persona 1 fans, that's the worst game. That's the worst game. Like
probably, yeah.
Probably. I think like there might be some SMT if people. SMT if's a little baller though. So SMT if's pretty good. I'm gonna count SMT if as a Persona game, and I'm gonna say it's still better than Persona 1.
All that matters for this discussion is we've agreed 3, 4, and 5 is what
we're talking about 3, 4, and 5.
And so obviously, if we both agree that 3 is the best, we're only talking about 4 and 5.
That's correct.
The conversation is which game is worse, Persona 4 or Persona 5.
Right.
Do you want to start with Persona 4? Do you want to start, or do you want me to start with Persona 5?
Tell me, you start with Persona 5. What don't you like about Persona 5? Look at this game. It's gorgeous. It's got the fattest beats. So why don't you like that?
Persona 5, and I hope you'll agree with this, has the worst story of the Persona games. 3, 4, and
5. I'm chewing on this. Keep spitting points.
It has the worst social links. It has the worst characters. The writing as a whole is significantly worse than it is in other Persona games.
I'm not gonna say the writing in 5 is better than 3, but I might for 4.
You think the writing in 5 is better than it is in 4?
I'm thinking it through right now. And I was watching some bits from 4 earlier today before recording in preparation, and I took a little wind out of my sails. I'm gonna be honest. I saw some good stuff in there, but
do we want to do like overall story? Because I think it's important when talking about Persona games to distinguish the social links from the story.
That's fair.
Because they are separate, and the quality does differ between them sometimes. Where, yeah, I think 4 has better social links and story. But which do you want to tackle first? The story or the social links?
Let's discuss the story, because I think the social links like inform the story.
Persona 5 has one of the worst stories in a video game I have played.
That is hearsay. Like you ever played Shaq Fu, my guy? I know different genre.
I haven't.
Oh, it's a riveting tale, let me tell you.
But like, okay, let's go through the story of 5. We're spoiling the whole thing.
All right,
okay?
We're just spoilers for 4 and 5. No spoilers for 3. We had a gentleman's agreement.
Yes.
Go play 3. Whatever happens here, you play 3.
Yes. That should be the takeaway.
I was gonna clarify what version of 3 they should play, but I'm not gonna do that because maybe we get good news. Fingers crossed. Maybe we get an enhanced port.
Honestly, some of our episodes have dated poorly because we've released them after other things have come out.
Yeah, this is the first episode that's being recorded at the point that our channels are actually live.
Yeah. I would be happy if we were to say there's no Persona 3 remake and there never will be.
I would love to be wrong.
If we say that right now in hopes that by the time we upload this, there is one.
Yeah, I think at the point that I mentioned that there was no Earthbound on the Switch, that dream came true. So let's say there's no definitive version of Persona 3. Let's will it into existence, boys.
Okay, but so the story of 5, right? So at the beginning, the opening few hours of Persona 5, I think is better than the opening few hours of 4.
Oh, by like a crazy margin.
I would say the Kamoshida's Palace is really good.
Like the first maybe like 10 hours of Persona 5 might be the best first 10 hours of any JRPG, I would say.
I'd probably like say more like 6 to 7-ish.
Maybe.
But I think we agree on the space. We just might disagree on how long that takes.
That's fair.
It's like the Kamoshida arc.
Yeah, like that whole like opening bit, the game comes out straight. It's like, which is weird distinctly because Persona 3 and 4 took so long to get rolling.
I would say that 3 actually doesn't take a very long amount of time.
Like hot shit happens early in 3, right? Like it's not too long before like a major event takes place, and that's not true for 4. But it also kind of fits like the cozier vibe of 4.
Yeah, it is funny that we talk about how 4 has a cozier vibe when it literally starts with a woman being murdered.
Yeah, but it was a cozy murder, you know.
I mean, her body was mangled in telephone
She got
wire.
decorated like a Christmas tree, you know. It was nice. It gave a real nice ambiance to the whole town. Everyone sighed, everyone clapped. Nice body.
So in 5, you've got the good opening, okay?
Yeah.
And then after that, so 4 and 5 share a similar issue, which is that the characters do nothing for a lot of the game. Like, they are very just like, well, I don't know what we're gonna do today. You know, we want to solve crimes and do good things, but we also are incompetent and don't know how to do that. So half of their time is just spent dicking around.
I feel like the dicking around is like a little more offensive to me in 4 than it is 5, because I feel like there should be more urgency to the goings on of 4 than there are in 5, because people are being murdered, right? But they're definitely not acting like there are dudes dying on the streets.
So I think that I'm more forgiving of the way that 4 handles it because of the themes of 4 and the general tone of it match the story pace. In that 4 is a lot of it feels like you're going to a summer camp with your friends. It feels like you literally do that.
That is 4. Accurate. And that's part of my beef, truth be told.
But I think you have to respect that it is trying to do that.
It is trying to do that. It does succeed at doing that. But I do wish that it didn't.
But can you say that the game is worse because it doesn't fulfill your specific desires?
Not necessarily.
Or can you say you just like it a little less?
To like get to the meat of it. Like I feel like compared to 3, 4, 5 and 1, 2 and If and like the rest of the mainline games, Persona 4 sticks out tonally as being like dramatically more lighthearted. Admittedly, people are still being murdered and there are still psychic demons in people's like subconsciouses, but like it feels far more Scooby-Doo than anything else the franchise has to offer. And it's at least in the order that I played the games originally. I got into the franchise with Persona 3, and then I played SMT4, then I played Nocturne, and then I played Persona 4, and I was so like off put.
Whiplash.
Yeah, the dramatic whiplash from like Lucifer hardly shows up, you know? He's barely even there. Like, what is this game? We're going to Walmart, we're chilling with my little sister. What is this? Why do people like there's no bleeding outside of the murders?
You almost don't even kill God in Persona 4.
Hardly do. It's like a Shinto guy, you know? Like, what the hell? There's not even hell. I don't know if hell's real in this.
If I can't murk Yahweh, it's not a good video
like, what if
game.
I want to be friends? What if he doesn't want to be friends? That's drama. That's the real conflict. That's what I'm paying my $60 USD for. Sometimes 80 because the Atlas tax is real, but I'll welcome it because God's there and he's pissed. That's the appeal of the franchise. 3 hits that on the head for me. 5 definitely hits that on the head for me. What's going on with Persona 4? Giant eyeballs. We got the Marie situation. We're going golden.
I think it's not fair to judge Persona 4 as an SMT game. And here's the reason why. In America, it says Shin Megami Tensei.
It does.
It doesn't in Japan.
That is
in Japan.
Fair.
The games are not called Shin Megami Tensei Persona.
This because I feel like
just called Persona.
I feel like they're not called Shin Megami Tensei Persona because it's so obvious that they are Shin Megami Tensei Persona. I feel like if you made like a game that was called like Pikachu Conquest as opposed to like Pokemon Conquest, you don't have to tell anyone that's a Pokemon game. Like the Pikachu's right there. There he is.
What if it was just called Conquest? Though?
What if it was?
It wasn't called Pikachu Conquest, just Conquest.
Does Pikachu perform turn-based combat actions in the middle of this while the protagonist catches other monsters?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Then it might be a Pokemon game. It might be a Pokemon game. Like I understand that like this is an ongoing discussion that's not getting resolved at this table today. But I'm gonna say you get Jack Frost. He does Bufu. Some psychic melodrama happens. Probably an SMT game.
I'm not saying it isn't an SMT game.
Mm-hmm.
I am, but we're not fighting over that right
now. A different fight for a different day.
Yeah. This isn't the hill I want to die on.
No. So much fewer people care about that conversation than what Persona is best anyway. I'm willing to acquiesce here. Mainline fans, I let you down. I'm sorry.
I don't think that it's fair to judge Persona based off of it being an SMT game because there is a distinction between it and mainline SMT.
No one even shoots a gun in Persona 4 though.
Yeah.
Well, Naoto's got a gun.
Naoto does have a gun.
Naoto's pretty rad. I like Naoto.
Shoot it also.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah.
I think that you need to judge something on what it is trying to do, right? So like if you go see a children's movie and you say it wasn't violent enough, you're an idiot.
That's fair. I agree with the stance.
So I think if you go to Persona 4 and it is clearly trying to be something different, right? And you're upset that it isn't what you want it to be, that's the problem's with you, not with the game. I would say
it's not immediately clear that it's trying to do something different. Like the opening hours of like Persona 4 do like remain kind of ominous, and only as you go further on and get on your scooters and whatnot does it like reveal itself to be a silly time.
Because I think the visual design of the game presents itself as more lighthearted.
Did you play Persona 4 originally on Golden or on the PS2?
Originally I played it on PS2 and then I didn't beat it on PS2, I beat it as Golden.
Okay, that
I only got to
sense.
like Kanji on the original PS2.
Yeah. I think the PS2 version, primarily off of the weight of the opening animation, honestly.
It's so good.
It
so good.
It sets a different expectation for tone. Like they
God.
both open
Chie
with uppity
in the
pop
elevator.
music. She ain't in that elevator. Why does she make that face and why does it make my heart beat? You know?
God.
What?
Heartbeat, heartbreak.
Tell me goodbye. Shoot. There's an interview. I want to say the art director of Persona 345 is named Sowajima.
I don't know.
It's probably in this book. I don't know. I probably read it at some point. But
you at home read this book.
Read this book. Books are good for you kids. Increase your studious stats so you can talk to the good friends.
Yeah.
But in this art book, he talks about like the original character designs for like the Persona 4 cast. And he mentions that he like puts like deliberate awkward facial features on the cast to make them appear more relatable and realistic. Like they're not necessarily, at least in the original releases of the games, like picturesque like model people. They all have just like enough like wonkiness to them to make you believe like, yeah, that might be like an awkward teenager. And I think that opening kind of highlights that. Like that Yon scene, that's not necessarily like what you would describe as like a picturesque, like cute mower face. There's a little weirdness to Young, and I love that weirdness. And it kind of fades away by the time we hit Golden. I think everyone's just trying to be like on model anime characters for the rest of that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But I would say like the opening for 4 hits a little different based off of like what platform you're coming in at originally. And I think like I played it originally on the PS2, and I think at that point, I like immediately I wasn't like dissuaded to believe that it was gonna be so like far off base from like where Persona 3 was swinging. And over time it became very clear that was the case.
I think though, if you were to replay it today and meet the game on its own footing, I think you would find a lot more enjoyment with it.
I probably would.
So I think here's the thing. I have to admit, 4 was the first Persona game I played. So there is some degree of like bias there that's just inherent.
Yeah, and Persona 3 was also my first, and I feel the same way towards that.
Yeah, but like it's like whatever your first Pokemon game was probably your favorite one, right?
Potentially.
Like, or at least the one that you played the most as a child, right?
I don't know, because I feel like you probably played the one that you liked the most, right? Like
yeah, but also if you played the game when you were 10, you didn't have the right of opinions.
I don't know, man. Gold was lit when I was 10, and I definitely liked it better than Red Blue.
Gold is also shit now if you play it.
No, Gold's still lit. Gold's still lit.
For a different day. But what I want to say is I think if you see a lot of people who played 4 as their first Persona game, I think it's universally treated as their favorite.
I think that's probably true, actually.
There is a good reason for that. The first reason is because they haven't played Persona 3.
That's probably true.
I was in that camp before. I've shifted camps now. But I think it's also important to note that it's because they went into it with zero expectations. When you don't have the weight of an entire previous series of expectations that you have for the game, then when you go into it as its own experience, then you're just like, yeah, this is a chill summer camp. I'm just hanging out with my friends, solving murders. What's wrong with it being more Scooby-Doo-esque? Let me ask you this. Scooby-Doo is great.
Scooby-Doo is a beloved classic.
Why is that an insult?
Because Scooby-Doo used to kill God, you know? And once he stopped doing that, Scrappy-Doo used to be so swole, right? He'd come out and be like, he'd come in here with like the Chad stride. Scrappy-Doo's like, yo, Shaggy senpai, you having a hard time over here? And then he would engage in some turn-based strategy, and then he would take his gun out, summon his repressed desires, and just like kill the villain. There was no unmasking, you know? He's Scrappy-Doo used to eat those that offended him, and now he's just put in a cage, and it's sad to see him in the cage.
So okay, let's move back to Persona 5.
You open Scrappy-Doo's cage. It's too late now.
I think we're too focused on just like personal preference.
That's fair.
Whereas I think there are fundamental issues with 5.
Okay.
Whereas even if you do prefer 5 and you think that, I think your issues with 4 are more so tonally than they are from actual story structure.
Potentially. I will say like 5 was like a welcome return to form. And I don't know if that's necessarily the context that most people have for 5, right? But like when I played 5, like it came out swinging. First off, it was like, yo, the color is red this time, by the way, dudes. Also, we got guns and we're stealing. And I'm like, rad. We got, also the demons are back. Excellent. Demons, guns, theft, keep going.
That is sick. Right?
And
that's
so
part
cool.
of why the opening of the game is so great. But you have to recognize what the next 60 to 70 hours of the game is, which is pretty bad. Like, a lot of the structure of the story is pretty bad. Like, the characters essentially futz about not doing anything. Like, in Persona 4, you can at least justify why they're doing nothing because they don't know what to do. Right. They're being very reactive. Which you can criticize a story for having reactive protagonists all you want, but I think it works in a story like Persona 4. But in Persona 5, the characters are actually proactive.
They're the aggressor. They're on the red side of the mic.
They are. They are actively doing things. And it is very annoying for you finish a palace, right? And then at the end of the palace, they're just like, all right, well, we want to keep doing this. We have no reason to. We don't really know why we're doing this. We don't have any end goal. And we don't know what we're doing next, but we feel like kicking more bad guys' butt, so we're just gonna go and find someone to terrorize.
They're empowered for the first time in their lives, right? And they don't necessarily know what to do with this power, and they're coming out seeking justice. They're going down the Batman character path, right? But which, like, admittedly, they're not trying to like. They are looking for a problem to solve, right? Which puts them in a different position than they are in 4.
And this
right?
is where, like, I have a huge issue with, like, if you look at the themes of 4 versus the themes of 5 is where I take most of my issue with. Whereas, so 4 is pursuing your true self.
Right.
That is
Like
verbatim
4
one
has
of the
like
song names.
like there's a core theme about like identity and truth in 4, and like 5's core theme is rebellion.
You're not me.
Yeah, I would never say that. I would never do that. I would never look at a banana with lust. I would never eat that banana.
I'm sorry, you're right. I do look at bananas with lust.
I do look at it. It's cool.
This
like
is
banana.
A part of me.
The banana lover is the real me. Yeah. Yeah, that's real. But
so here's the thing. That is really, really compelling. That is a really good story. Like it's a good theme, and it fits the mechanics of the game really well. In each social link, you also will see characters accept parts of themselves that they don't like. They'll grow as people. You'll get to know them very well. Like it makes the whole story and all of the characters a lot more interesting and a lot more compelling. In a similar way to 3's themes of death.
Right.
Also, I mean, we won't get super deep into it. But we're in agreement. Like,
it's about death the whole time.
And that ties into the social links. It ties into events in the game. Like it does. It's very cohesive and it is engaging.
Like the reason that I think we both so strongly feel that like 3's probably the GOAT is because of like how tightly integrated all of those are.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily feel that way about 4 social links. I feel that way about like the party characters in 4. Right, I feel like every core member of your party does have like a struggle tied to their like sense of identity.
I think that's because you don't remember the side social links.
Maybe.
I don't think it's because it's not true of
Maybe,
them.
but I think that's their fault. I think that's their fault.
I don't think so. Can you name a 4 social link that doesn't have a pursuing your true self motif?
What's there's like a dude, he's getting like bad grades. What was that about? It's like his mom comes in and he's like, I thought you loved me for my grades. And he's like, baby, I love you because you're my son. What does that have to do with anything?
Okay, the child social links are always bad.
He was like a classmate. No, you're right. Yeah, that's right. You were tutoring.
Yeah, you were tutoring the kid.
That's right.
Yeah. That one, I'm gonna be honest. Canonically, Narukami was fucking that kid's mom.
Probably. The true theme of Persona 4 is that you best keep your family and friends away from you, Narukami, because he fucks.
Chad, Ziodyne, Thundercock,
You can't keep getting away from. That's my favorite meme to come out of the franchise as a whole. I'll give Persona 4 that.
Getting away with it.
You, Narukami, specifically anime depiction of you, Narukami, is so peak. It's so like the specialist meme, the dance, all of that's so good. That's so great.
Oh man. So, but with 5, 5's theme is rebellion, right? It is carving your own path,
right?
And it is not just going with what is most convenient of society. Now, admittedly, this is a Japanese game. Made by Japanese people for Japanese society.
Their societal issues are notably different than like what us Westerners might perceive as like the major misgivings of society.
And so it is. I can't erase like my own experiences and my own like knowledge going into the game.
Right.
It's possible that this story might be more compelling for a Japanese audience. Potentially. I'm willing to open that up. However, I think that it has really problematic story structures in that no character ever does anything to improve themselves. They blame all of their problems on someone or something else, and then they don't even confront that other thing. You will then go and forcibly change the person's mind about something.
I do feel that way specifically with how mementos like links get handled, right?
That's
like
most social links have a memento section.
Yeah, I think that's valid.
And
that's a valid critique.
It is so common in all of the social links. Now, there are some that aren't like that. Notably, I think a few of the party members aren't. Some of them are still just like that.
Some of them are like that. Some of them are like inane. I'm looking at you, On. I'm looking at you. I hate On social link is garbage.
Can we talk about should we talk about On?
We can talk about On.
So
first off, On? What the hell? Why do we call her On? It says Anne. Don't trick me, Japan. You can't trick me. I know that name. She's got blonde hair. I know how to say it.
But the katakana.
Why are you doing this to me?
All right. So we have to accept every Persona game, because a lot of Japanese media does have a problem of like sexist, misogynistic themes where women are overly sexualized in ways that can be uncomfortable.
Yeah, this is a deep cut. I know where he's going, and I already agree with him.
I want to clarify that because some of the issues with are present in 3 and 4.
Right.
Persona 3 and 4.
Right.
There are similar things. The problem with the way 5 handles it is that 5 openly presents itself as we are going to be addressing societal issues, specifically the treatment of women. The Kamoshida arc is specifically about a predatory male who does, a teacher who essentially is molesting a student.
Right.
And
it comes out swinging pretty hard.
It is played very seriously. All right. It does very clearly condemn these things.
Right.
And it does present as a victim of sexual abuse. Right. Like pretty clearly. And then immediately afterwards, so like when that happened, I was just like, man, this is interesting. I'm really
themes of like
see...
suicide come up because of the sexual abuse too.
And
it's really going for it.
I really was compelled by On's character in the opening of the game because I was like, I'm wondering to see how they're going to handle like the trauma that comes from this because it is relevant. Like 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted in their lives. That's a horrific,
especially with like how sexual assault is generally like treated in Japan. It
is. So that was a compelling story for me. And then they completely bastardized her character. They turned her into just like a bimbo piece of candy for all of the male characters to look at and goggle over. It made me really uncomfortable because the main character, Joker, also in all of the cutscenes is actively like ogling her.
Like especially in 2D cutscenes, right? Where like Joker's a silent protagonist for the most part. Like what he does and what he says, pretty consistent with like my own perception of him. But when these 2D animations come out, he's looking at him, I wasn't looking at her, man. That's when I play Joker. Joker is one waifu for lifu, right? And that waifu was not on. What's he doing there? I'm not. Get him out of there. We skipped those cutscenes.
It was really uncomfortable, and it was weird. And I know that some of this probably sounds hypocritical because we were just talking about how much of a Chad
Narukami can get away with it, but Joker can. What the hell?
The difference is that Persona 4 does not present itself as taking these subjects seriously. It does not say we are going to talk about societal issues at any point, right?
To an extent.
When
like I don't necessarily believe that like it conflicts with it, but I feel like some of the characterization of Rise does like directly handle like how the media perceives her and sexualizes her. Right,
I would say,
it's there is a distinction between the two because I don't think anyone had like rape allegations involving Rise.
But I think also with Rise, she is characterized by that, and you can see the way that she reacts to it in a humanizing way. Whereas anytime it happens with it's played as a laugh.
That's true. That's true. It's like, oh, boys will be boys, like, looking at my body.
After is sexually assaulted by her teacher and is dealing with her friend who was also sexually assaulted, potentially raped by her teacher, right? Immediately after that, you force her to model nude in front of a strange man
Yusuke stuff is
and it is
pretty sketchy.
So uncomfortable.
It's pretty sketchy. I don't even think much in-game time has passed between the two events.
That is inexcusable.
And it's played for laughs, and it's not a good look. I won't defend this too hard.
Yeah.
But what I will defend is that I do love Yusuke. Yusuke is great. When he's out here holding his 2 lobsters and he's like, don't eat these lobsters, they're for aesthetic appreciation only, I am here for that.
I think that's insane because you don't like Bebe.
I don't like Bebe. Bebe's the worst.
Yusuke and Bebe are the same. They're caricatures.
No. They're caricatures.
Not people. They're caricatures.
They are caricatures.
That's why I hate Bebe, and it's also why I hate Yusuke, because Yusuke is not a person. He's a caricature.
I do feel that Yusuke is a caricature.
He's the main character in the party. He's the first person that joins your party, and he is just a caricature. He's not really humanized at any point.
I do feel like the further we get from Persona 3, the more like what's the word that I'm looking for? I'm not necessarily looking for flanderized just yet. I think like the Persona 4 spin-offs like get weirder with this, but I don't think it's necessarily like a fair criticism of vanilla Persona 5. I will say that I do feel like Persona 4 does like the turnaround time between like Persona 3 and Persona 5 is like wicked quick. I do think they kind of cranked that.
4, you mean?
Yeah, 3 and 4.
Yeah,
3 and 4. They 4 came out so quickly that I do think that they distinctly did try and lean into like the aesthetic appeal of their female characters in a way that 3 didn't necessarily do. 5 does specifically with An, but I don't think it necessarily does it with the rest of the roster.
It does. There are scenes where they are being sexualized. Specifically, there is like the firework and all of the girls in the yukata, which I'm willing to forgive that also, not because I don't think that there are problems with it, but because I think that that's an issue more so with Japanese media than it is specifically Persona 5. But I think An is very, very clearly like the most.
Yeah, like I think An's pretty mishandled. But like even outside of this, right? Like there's all like the heavy aspect of like An's character that go on, and like some of it is like pretty mismanaged. But then like once you're just chilling with her in her social link, it's such a nothing social link. And I understand
so
I'm supposed to be defending Persona 5 right now. I'm doing a very bad job of that. We'll get to the good bits later.
It's because the social links are bad.
The social links aren't the greatest.
They are the worst.
The greatest come from 3, but there's so many people in 4 that I can't be bothered to remember. I at least remember the politician. I remember Tei Takemi. I remember the arms dealer. All of these dudes are iconic.
No. Here's the thing: you remember the characters. Do you remember the social link?
You think I'm gonna forget about my boy like joining the Yakuza, like smuggling? That's such a good link.
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah,
that's so good. You think I'm gonna forget about Tei Takemi's unlicensed practice and how she got like ostracized from the medical system? I can't forget that. That was a banger. That was good stuff.
I don't think hers was that great. I think her character is just great.
Her character is so good.
Her character is amazing.
So good.
But I don't think the social link itself is very well written.
I don't have any problems with it.
The fortune teller is a bad social link.
The fortune teller is a bad social link.
The shogi player, Hifumi, I think that's a bad social link.
I like Hifumi.
I like the character.
I'm not crazy
I'm
about
criticizing the social links here.
I don't have a problem with Hifumi's social link. What's your problem with Hifumi's social link?
I think that it's boring and not interesting and nothing really happens.
I think there's an interesting like story being told. Like maybe you could argue that like the setting of like not necessarily ever really breaking out of like the church for that maybe like complicates that. But hey, the lore behind that, if you're not aware, like for the dev lore, is that Hifumi was intended to be like a party member that got cut due to like time constraints, and they felt that it was like emotionally appropriate to like house her in a church for that reason.
I think you can feel that there is a bit of like issue with that.
Yeah, but
like, you can feel that one.
Yeah, I think you can. But like part of that feeling, I think, is that there is more going on there that isn't necessarily leaned into, and that's interesting to me, right? Like when I'm going through Hifumi, I don't necessarily feel like they were like struggling to put content in. I feel like they were like struggling to like keep content out and like make it fit within like the 10 link paradigm, right?
I think regardless of which way it goes, I think it didn't fit well within the 10 link paradigm. I think that
I might agree with that. But as a character, I like Hifumi. I like the politician stuff. I think also doesn't get like as realized as it probably should. But I was here for that. I think he's the Sun Arcana, I want to say.
I didn't really like him at all.
I liked him thematically because I felt like he was like he was like the equivalent to like the Persona 3 monk to me, where he was like directly like associated with the conflict of the game, right? At least thematically, because he was like directly trying to like alter the current political system, which like spoilers is pretty relevant to this game.
Yeah, I think another issue I have with 5 is the way, and this is gonna sound weird because typically it's seen as merging story and game mechanics as a good thing.
Right.
Typically that is seen as like a net positive in games, and I would agree with that. I'm not gonna go crazy against that. Except I'm gonna go a little crazy against that.
Why are you going crazy?
In 5, you do get in-game mechanical rewards for social links.
Yes.
My issue with that is that when I would have a free day and I would want to go and hang out with someone in 5, I would think about what benefits they would give me. I would not think about who do I want to hang out with.
I would extend
that tainted my experience.
Maybe I would extend that criticism to like the whole of the franchise, right? Because there's like a little like tinge of disingenuousness that I feel like when you're hanging out with someone because it immediately benefits like the persona you want to fuse, right?
I think that is such a much more minor
It is
thing
much
in
more
3 and
minor,
4, though.
right? Yeah,
Like in 3 and 4, I never thought, oh, I want to advance this so I can fuse a specific
like
persona.
the benefits that you get like out of Kawakami are like so dramatic and like so strongly impact the rest of your gameplay experience. It's kind of a mistake just to like not further that social link.
It's the get smoked kid.
Yeah. Oh no, get smoked kid's so rad though.
I hated his social
Oh
link
man,
so
you
much.
just didn't get smoked. That was the problem.
He has the worst voice actor in the entire franchise. It is
can't
laughably
remember
bad.
his voice. I like his character portrait is ingrained in my soul so deeply.
Yeah,
but I don't remember the sound of his voice.
She has like 3 lines or something where like in the game, and
was one of them get smoked?
No.
Then I agree.
There's like there's the end of social link thing, and then I think she also has some dialogue in Royal. I forget exactly.
I should know. I haven't played all the way through Royal. I've only started Royal, and I've played like all of the vanilla game.
We'll probably talk a little bit about Royal later, its own thing. But I think we are mostly just talking about base game.
I think so.
But I think that the problem is that I felt like the life sim elements of 5 were worsened as a result of the mechanics being tied in, where I wasn't making choices because I was role playing a character. I was wanting to hang out with specific friends, right? I was having like my life simulator moments.
Yeah.
I was picking it because I was like, ooh, the Sun Arcana, that dude, the politician, he's been helping me negotiate with personas. I want to negotiate with personas better. I'm going to hang out with him. Now, that could also be commentary in its own right, where it's like, yeah, you're doing it you're viewing people as like just tools for your own self-improvement.
Right.
I don't think that that's leaned into super well. I don't think that that's intentional.
I don't think it's intentional either. I'm like a little skeeved out by it, but I understand like the systemic constraints that come with it.
Yeah, I would prefer as weird as it sounds, I'd rather that the benefit that you get with hanging out with people is that you get to hang out with them.
That's true. Like this game is fully telling like its audience like you should objectify your friendships, which like I guess is just what networking is. So like maybe it's not even invalid to get mad about it, but it does feel a little weird to me.
I hate Mishima so much too.
Mishima.
He's a little bitch boy, and I hate him. He
is, and that's why I love him, though. That's why I love him.
I hate Oya also.
Oya might be the worst social link.
It's really bad.
Oya's pretty bad. I at least know Oya's name, though. Like, she inspired ire within me. The Persona 4 cast doesn't even have, like, the wherewithal to do that for me.
I think the only reason is because you haven't played it recently. I think if you played it as recently as you played 5, you would have some more opinions.
I feel like every now and then I'll like catch wind, especially because like the Steam release of Persona 4 happened. Like I'll like get the bug and I'll be like, maybe I should play Persona 4 a little bit. But I feel like I've played the opening of Persona 4 so many times and it is so slow to start. It's a major barrier anytime I get that bug for a little bit. If I were to muscle through it, I might have a good time. Or if I had like a social reason to do so. That's my invite. We should play Persona 4 together.
You know what? I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
Persona 4 is the main cast is very endeared to me, right?
They're all great.
I
would take every single character in 4, main cast character, over everyone in 5.
No. I love Futaba too much.
Okay.
Futaba's so precious, so fragile, so sweet.
But other than Futaba, like who else is
I would
great?
die for Ryuji. Ryuji is the best bro that we've ever had.
Ryuji has a great social link, but Ryuji in the story is insufferable. Part of it is because like his dynamic. So they do this thing in each game where there's it's the what are their names? Yukari and what's the
lovers?
Yeah.
Like
Yukari
the initial
and
like
Junpei,
pair. Yeah.
It's the male best friend and the female cute girl, right?
Yeah.
And they do that in each game, and I think that it gets worse in each one. Like the Yukari and Junpei interactions are good.
Yes.
Because I think you can see that they're both flawed characters in some ways. Right?
Oh man, I want to get into spoiler discussion so bad. I'll respect what we said at the beginning.
We're not doing it. Then in 4, you've got Yosuke and Chie, right?
Chie just abuses Yosuke. Can we talk about that?
But also, Yosuke is a perv.
Yosuke is a perv, but I feel like any one thing that like Chie would do that would like.
I'm just gonna be honest. I would let Chie abuse me.
I agree, but I think we gotta acknowledge that like Chie's being
Maybe
a bit of a bully.
Glorify abuse.
Yeah, we shouldn't glorify abuse, but if it's Chie,
maybe we shouldn't. Anyways, then I think An and Ryuji is the worst pairing. I think that they do not have chemistry together in a playful way that they play off of each other. I think that they are both insufferable every time they talk. And because they're the only party members you start with other than Morgana, most of the early dialogue is that.
I don't necessarily feel that way about An and Ryuji, but I do feel that way about Ryuji and Morgana. Those two need to be kept separate.
I hate Morgana so much.
Here's the thing. I only hate Morgana because Morgana hates Ryuji, and I love Ryuji. There's like a whole like subplot in the middle where Morgana's like, Ryuji, you're not like contributing to the party. I'm like, Morgana, shut your mouth. Ryuji deals the damage. What are you doing? And he's like, fine, I guess I'll leave. I'm like, good, Morgana, go, be gone. We got heal spells elsewhere. We don't need you. I can learn wind. I can't do what Ryuji's doing. I need him in the party for purely gameplay reasons, and because he's also the maximum bro. I love Ryuji and feel nothing towards Morgana. The cast would be better without him. I wouldn't need to sleep every night. I could stay up all night. My maid will do my laundry for me. I'll get the drugs from the doctor. We're here to party.
For real.
For real. For real.
I also, this is gonna, anyone that even slightly agreed with me is gonna hate me after I say this. I think that what's her name? Who's the short-haired girl? What's her name?
Makoto?
Makoto. Yeah. She's overrated. Here's the thing, okay? An is an idiot. Ryuji is an idiot. However much you like him, Ryuji is one of the dumbest characters.
He is characterized as being
Morgana.
He's
got
a heart of gold, though.
When you meet Makoto, you are like, oh my god, finally someone has a brain. Finally someone like can think. I'm not even saying she's like super intelligent, just she can think. What's so funny?
No. I have this ongoing cover. My roommate has been like getting into Persona 5. And his like whole like a beef at the moment is like, everyone acts like Makoto's supposed to be the smart character. Makoto's the dumbest one out of all of them. She's over here, she like gets like engaged with like with like the like Yakuza slumlord money laundering dude. And she just like approaches him directly. Why is she so dumb?
Yeah, she's also I mean, yeah, my point is just like she has a brain.
Yeah, like, she's at least characterized as having a brain, right? And
it's just like, oh, thank God there's like a normal person. Finally. Oh, you also get Yusuke before you get her. And Yusuke is also an idiot.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I feel like that's bullying. I feel like Yusuke is like a little bit on the spectrum, so to speak. I think that's genuinely true. I don't even know.
I don't think it is because he's a caricature, and I don't think that he's characterized.
I don't know. That's a weird discussion. I don't know if I have the courage to get into that discussion on the internet. Truth be told, but I do love him in a way that I do not for many another character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that the party members are really bad in 5. And I just don't like them at all.
I will agree that like compared to the party members in 4, maybe there's something lacking there.
I mean, I think the party members get worse with each game. Like
I do
think
agree.
3 has amazing. I think 4 has pretty good, and 5 has passable at best.
I think
there are some pretty good ones.
It's a rough line for me because I think I have kind of like swallowed like the aesthetic of the Persona 5 cast so deeply in a way that I haven't necessarily for 4. Like I feel like everyone in 4 is just beautiful, but everyone in 5 I want a tattoo of, right?
Yeah, can we? I guess we should be nice to 5 and we should address what it does well.
Like, its iconography is so on point.
It is.
It's so good.
It is beautiful. And I'm not going to say a single negative thing about the design of 5.
Yeah.
Like the graphic design, the visuals, like the music. It's all amazing.
Yeah. Like every like drop, every morsel of presentation that comes off of this game is like a peak for the genre, if not the medium, right? Yeah. Like I feel like anyone who's like working on a game with a UI at any point should be taking some notes from Persona 5. And I think largely we are. I feel like the games that are coming out now are like, maybe we throw like a character silhouette over here. Maybe we start assigning like attack options to like face buttons. Maybe
I watched this video. I'm gonna see if I can find it, and like I'll put a screenshot of it so you can find it.
Put it right over Yusuke.
Yeah, I'll put it right over Yusuke. But it was about turn-based RPGs and just like flaws in them and how they've changed. And one thing that it credited Persona 5 for was the way that it, in combat, each action is tied to a different button. Not just a different face button, a different button.
Right.
Like circle is defend, then X is attack, and triangle is spells. Square is items, and then like the triggers do different things. The D-pad buttons do different things. Like each thing has its own discrete action, so that if you want to do anything, it's a single button press away.
Right.
That is honestly
that's
the
kind
type
of peak UI, right?
It's the type of innovation that I want out of JRPGs. Because here's the thing: JRPG like combat interface has not evolved past the NES. They literally.
I would say it's just Atlas, right? like Atlas is playing another ballgame, because I feel this way about pretty much like every Atlas RPG. I'm like, there's like also I think they have the benefit of like largely having been on the 3DS for a long time. So like most of those games take advantage of like the screen real estate available to them. And like if you're like coming from this interface and then like going hard into Pokemon, and you have like the 4 like menu options that you have at the beginning of every Pokemon encounter, it's like a night and day. Like we have more than like a confirm and like a back button. We should be doing more with that.
Yeah, like every RPG is just you use the D-pad to select an option, and then you press A to accept it, and you press B to go back. And it's just like there are literally twice as many buttons on the controller as you are using, maybe
like
more.
Like I think like you could always have that as an option still, right? No.
Why would you have a worse option?
Because it's very approachable, right? If my dad only knows how to use like a TV remote, right, and he comes in and he's like, turn this Wii remote sideways, I got the good button and the bad button.
Why is your dad playing Persona 5?
I wish he did, man. Dad, if you're out there, if you're listening, Persona 5 would be great. We could put it in Spanish. I think we could put it in Spanish. I don't know if these games have Spanish VOs. I'm very interested to see that right now. I do want to hear Latina Morgana with Zorro.
I mean... But like he could look at the screen and see, oh, there's the giant circle button. Here's the giant circle button. I press that to do that.
Like this is a bit of an aside from like all the like Persona talk here. But can we at least like acquiesce that like a modern video game controller is like a medical instrument to someone who doesn't play video games? It's the most intimidating thing imaginable.
Yeah.
But if you're designing a game that only needs like 2 buttons to be able to like have like a multi-100-hour like story, there's merit to that. I'm not saying it's the best approach, but there's merit.
With how much JRPGs appeal to like a core gaming audience,
this is true.
I think it makes sense for them to accept that anyone who's playing their game has held a game controller before.
Like this game in specific, I don't think it's intended to be baby's first RPG, right? Not at all. This is kind of like...
Should Pokemon still have an easier to understand user interface? Maybe.
Sure.
I could understand.
Like there's merit to it. I don't think that should be the only interface necessarily, right?
Yeah.
And I like at least the DS games like had touch buttons.
Yeah, that is.
But you boot up Sword and Shield and things are rough. Going back to a previous episode, I think Arceus does like take some steps on making this a little better, but
minor,
really minor. Persona 5, on the other hand, fucking to the moon. Right?
Yeah, Persona 5 is great in that.
Yeah.
Persona 5 also is the first time that there are legitimate dungeons.
Oh yeah. It's no longer randomized.
And all right, I'm gonna make everyone hate me now.
Keep going. I want it. I want to see it.
I don't know if I'm safe saying this.
I would promise him in the comments that it's gonna be safe.
I would rather explore Tartarus than explore 90% of the Persona 5 dungeons.
Tartarus is stressful. I might agree with you if the Persona 5 dungeon music was generally not so bopping. That soundtrack is busting so often.
It is really good. But also in Persona 3 Portable, you can put on any song.
That's true, and there's some good music on there. This is a rough one, but there is a song in Persona 3 called Persona. That's a weird Google search, but that song, play that every time you're in Tartarus. It's so
Just play
nice.
Deep Breath every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, do that.
Look
Take
up
a
Deep
breath, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath.
Oh, so good.
It's so good.
Okay, but so like legitimately,
Yeah,
every time I went in a dungeon in Persona 5,
Mhm.
I would at some point open up the map and scroll through to see how many floors were left, just because I would be like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Mhm.
Please let me out of this dungeon. How much of this do I
Mm.
have to go through? Whereas, like, I never did that in 3. I will be honest.
Mm.
I did also do that in 4.
In four is like a
4 had bad
something
dungeons
some
also.
yeah four. I think there's an appeal to like the randomized nature of Tartarus and like the how high you gonna go today, my bro.
Yeah.
Energy that 3's got, and there's an appeal to like handmade like level design that 5's got. I'm not vibing with what 4 is doing. It's like I appreciate that there are different tile sets for like each like dungeon, right? But
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily like 3 feels like a roguelike to me in a way that 4 doesn't, and 5 doesn't, but 5's not even trying to be. I feel like 4 kind of
Yeah.
still is, and I'm not here for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think 4 was clearly a transition period.
Yeah.
And I'm not here trying to say that like 4's dungeons are better than 5.
Yeah.
But I do think that a lot of people would point at 5's dungeons as a point above 4,
Mhm.
whereas I wouldn't necessarily give it that.
I
think
I
that the
think I
levels
would.
are not very well designed. I think most of the dungeons are actively bad.
I think
Okuma's
there's like a
Palace
wide
is really
variance. Yeah, I
It's
agree. Like
really,
Akuma's
really
Palace
bad.
is rough. Also, notably,
Shido's Palace goes way too long.
Shido's
is
Palace
not
does
very
go too long,
interesting.
but the song's so cool, and you turn into a mouse, and I like that.
Futaba's Palace is good.
I do wish that like the town outside of like Futaba's
Yes.
Palace. I wish we went more into that. I was so
Yes.
excited when I was like, bro, you're telling me there's a whole other RPG inside this RPG? I was ecstatic, but you only go there like one time.
Just make a Dragon Quest town
yeah.
inside
Agreed.
of Futaba's mind.
Agreed. That like us.
It'd be thematic.
Like Futaba, I'm confident does have a Dragon Quest town inside of her mind at all times.
You go in there, you get the puff puff.
Yeah, you get the puff puff. Futaba can't do no puff puff.
Futaba's mind with what Futaba has definitely read on the internet.
No.
Puff puff exists in her
I'm not ready
mind.
to talk about this. That's my wife. You keep my wife's name out of your mouth.
I think Kamoshida's Palace is pretty decent, but I think part of that might just be the shock value of like, oh my god, this is cool.
Yeah. Like
this is something new. This is fresh.
Yeah, it feels so fresh from the get go.
But they're also like really after that they're all so formulaic and so unengaging and uninteresting.
I feel like they're at least like visually enticing, right? And like the puzzles are generally pretty minor, except for like the Okumura stuff. I just hate that dungeon.
I would say that that's true of all of Persona 5 though, is that it's like visually very appealing, but it's just like actually really shallow.
Except the combat is rad in Persona 5, and there's plenty of dungeon encounters in Persona 5.
Here's the thing. This might be a Royal thing. So most of the time I spent playing Persona 5 was on Royal.
Okay.
And Royal, I think Royal makes the game a lot easier.
I would imagine
Because
that to be true.
You get DLC personas, which just I didn't get like the really high level ones.
Yeah. You
would
would have just done yourself a disservice if you did, right?
I purposefully only allowed myself to get the DLC personas that I was of an equal level at, so I wasn't getting over leveled personas. That's not the problem. But in Mementos, it will give you like experience boost stuff where you get way more experience, you get way more money, you get way more items and stuff, to where like you just grind so easily. I beat the game and was max level. Like I beat the game at max level and grinded out like max level personas.
Yeah.
And I wasn't trying to. Legitimately. I would
were you playing on normal?
I was playing on normal.
Okay.
But that's because I mean 3 and 4 are hard games. Persona 3 and 4 are hard games.
I think
normal is hard.
Normal is pretty hard.
Persona 3 and Persona 4.
I think in 5, I think I initiated on hard. I think I was strutting in, feeling good about myself because I was a big mainline boy. And then I got Marin Karen into Oblivion, and I was like, normal it is. Should I describe what the process of being Marin Karen to Oblivion is? Or should we assume some degree of audience familiarity here?
Yeah, I mean, it's your call.
All right. If you guys have played Persona 3, I feel like there's two interpretations I need to delineate. Your AI party member may potentially attempt a status spell that is not helpful when you are in dire need. It's the Kingdom Hearts like Donald, please heal me situation, right?
Yeah.
That's one way to get Marin Karen. When Mitsuru doesn't heal you.
Mhm.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a party, like a fully confused out party. Succubus is just laughing at you, and you guys just like drunk on the floor, vomiting and kicking each other. That's what I experienced, and that made me go back to normal.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I didn't play the game on hard, so maybe it is. Maybe I should have played it on hard. But the game also, I'm pretty sure it doesn't let you change the difficulty partway through, does it?
I think you can go down, but not up potentially.
Oh.
I'm not super confident.
I never tried,
but I definitely
tried.
did like roll back at one point.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a bummer. I definitely had a very good time with the combat. So let me for a moment. Persona 5. Well, I mentioned Gun is back. Gun is back. I gotta celebrate that. Guns are so cool in SMT. I don't know what it is about like shooter guns that don't do it for me. But the second you put a gun in like a JRPG pro tags, I'm like, this man means business. Like once you like.
Because shooting a human is weird, but shooting a demon is kind of
shooting
sick.
A demon is a little based, right?
Yeah.
You got like Mr. Sandman there, like, please, I'll give you everything you want. Like, I want you to die, and that's great. Apparently, that was the main reason they brought it. They didn't necessarily bring it back for like the old time like franchise fogies. They came in, they're like, we're making a game where we want you to feel like you're robbing a bank. And to do that, you should have a gun. We want you to be able to have a stick up. And that was the main like design note. They're like, yeah, bring it back. The nuclear is also an element in here. That's pretty sick. You got dudes on transforming motorcycles. This isn't no Final Fantasy 13 transforming motorcycle. Johanna, is that her name? Makoto's so cool, so sick. Makoto's so sick. Maybe she should be smarter. Don't talk to criminals, kids. But if you're doing so, get on your motorcycle and drop a nuke. That's great. Combat in those games are great. Fusion is still great. It is a notable backstep from not necessarily 3, 4, 5. Like I feel like there's like a linear progression. Like quality of fusion as you go through that. But
I would say actually I think 5's fusion is over designed.
I disagree. I think it's under designed because there are features that I want that aren't there.
I'm talking specifically like there's the like the isolation chamber where you level up personas. There's the like turning them into weapons. Like there's just too much stuff that
there is a lot of stuff
where it's just like, I don't know, this isn't great. I would rather that they just have normal fusion, special fusion, and then 3-way fusion. Yeah, nice. And then add in like quality of life search features and stuff.
Yeah, right? I should know. This is HD debut of the Demon Designs, and it felt so nice. We were playing with PS2 assets for so long. When this game came out looking beautiful like this, I felt it in my heart. First time Dex Frost smiled at me, I smiled back.
Oh,
yeah.
I think we've talked a lot about 5. I don't know if there's more that I have to say about 5 specifically. Do we want to talk about 4 a little bit?
Let's talk about 4 a little bit.
Case for why 4 is the worst?
I think so.
Hit me with it.
All right. 4 is pretty mid. I don't know how else to say it. The stakes of the plot dramatically lessened from interactions in the past and in the future. The immediate party is likable. The town itself is like Inaba's a good setting, right?
Great setting.
It's great. It's very cozy. I don't necessarily want to be cozy. I think we already touched on that.
Yeah.
Everyone else is forgettable except for the fox. The fox is great. The fox is pretty good. But outside of that, I feel like what else is there, right?
I think so. Here's the thing. I think that the Persona series, what differentiates it from normal JRPGs is that there are the life sim elements to it, right?
Right.
And I think that 4 does a really, really good job at leaning into that. Now, I do think that 3's life sim is a little bit better in some ways.
Yes.
But I think that the fact that like you're complaining about the tone of 4's like story and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think you have to accept that like think about the types of people that enjoy life simulators, right?
Like if you're playing like a Harvest Moon, right?
Yeah, like a Harvest Moon, a
transition.
Stardew Valley,
it's a comfort
Animal
food of
Crossing,
a game.
right?
Yeah.
Like they are chill, relaxing, comfortable games,
Mhm.
right? And I think that Persona 4 does a really good job at having a story that adds in a little bit of urgency to that and a
Mhm.
little bit of extra
Like
with the
like
JRPG elements.
you are on a schedule. I will say it's probably like the least pressed I've ever felt on the schedule. Right,
Yes.
like you have quite a bit of breathing room here. Um,
But like I think that it makes sense to have a game when you're adding in life sim elements to a JRPG. I think it makes sense to then put that like add the tone to match that. Whereas I don't think tonally 3 and 5 make sense as life sims. I think that there is a lot of like tonal dissonance between like the urgency of certain plot events and how like things are presented and the tones of the stories compared to like the just relaxing and hanging out with friends.
I
I don't
I'm
think
gonna
5 works as a life sim at all.
I think 5 probably has like the least need to be a life sim. 3 I would hard disagree because like you're literally like operating based off of the cycles of a moon and a clock.
Yeah, 3
right?
I don't have issues.
But
3's great.
three's great. um, shoot, what was the point that I wanted to make? Um, in 4, I feel like you have a lot of breathing room, right? And we noted that like it makes sense for it being a life sim. Um, but at the same time, I feel the least compelled to play it. Like if this was a book, right? Like 4 is not as much of a page turner as the rest. Um, and like I enjoy hanging out at Walmart with my little sister and my sexual harassment bear. But
Every day is great. Every day is great at your Jeunesse.
Let's talk about Teddy for a little bit. God, I hate Teddy. Why is Teddy here?
Teddy is better than Morgana, and end of story.
No, he's not.
Yes,
no,
he
he's
is.
not.
Yeah,
Morgana never came up to me and it was like, "Wow, I grew a human body so I could flirt with your friends."
That's because you didn't. Play
If he
Royal.
could, he would. No, no,
I'm not
no,
kidding.
no
I'm
way,
not kidding.
no way, no way.
I'm legitimately not.
Oh
kidding.
my god!
He
Why
does-
haven't I seen art of this?
So in Royal, I guess we'll talk about Royal a little
Oh
bit.
my
Royal's story
God.
makes the game a lot worse.
Oh,
so
man.
first, let's address the ending of 5.
Okay.
The ending of base 5.
Mhm.
It is really bad. There is
Things
like,
got
all of
really
the
mixed
Igor
up here.
shit is stupid. They
A
do
little bit.
too much of like they constantly want to do like twists, but
Yeah.
the twists are poorly written and not very cohesive. And don't
I
make
think
sense.
like at the
Like-
moment that like the Inception-esque twist happened in Persona 5, I was there for it. I think like walking away from it in hindsight, I'm not as crazy about it. But at the
Yeah.
moment, my mind was a little blown as I was bleeding out on that table.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it was like when I was playing the ending of 5, I was just constantly like, did I accidentally get the bad ending?
Yeah,
Did I
yeah,
do
yeah.
a wrong answer? And I don't think that that's fun. I don't know. I don't think that. I think they were trying to make you feel that way, but then they wrote themselves into a corner. A lot of the stuff that happened was just like weird, didn't make sense. I don't think it was very well written. I don't think it was very compelling. Then cut to Royal. So Royal picks up right at the end of 5. It's like you wake up after. What exactly happens? It's after you fix the memento shit.
Like once you're breaking out of jail, so to speak, talking to your party members.
It's after you've broken out of jail. It's after you've done all that stuff. Then what happens is there's basically like a new reality that Maruki has made. And
He has told me this stuff. I haven't experienced the Maruki end of things firsthand.
What happens is it's just like Maruki comes in and he's just like, hey, I have made the world better. I've resurrected your mom, Futaba. All right, literally, she's alive now. Okay, you're happy. She's alive now. Morgana, you're hot now. You're a hot human boy. All right, you're just legitimately a hot boy.
I can't accept this.
You still sleep in bed with Joker?
This isn't real. This isn't real.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding about any of this. Akechi isn't dead.
No. Well, okay.
but-
People love Akechi, sure.
Yeah. What else? On is friends with her friend. I do love that. It's like Haru's dad is alive, Futaba's mom is alive, Makoto's dad is alive. Ryuji's leg isn't disabled anymore.
The Ryuji leg plotline is so good.
All of their problems are fixed, and then On who isn't a character and doesn't have problems
is just like hanging out on FaceTime.
You know that friend that you stopped hanging out with for no reason, probably just because she changed schools and you're a shallow bitch, and now that you have to drive 30 minutes to be friends with her, it's just like, well, I'm not going to hang out anymore. You're still friends with her.
You decided it wasn't inconvenient.
Yeah, now you're friends with her, and I'm just like, really? That's all that needs fixing in your life? All right, cool, I guess. But anyways, everyone's life is better. And you guys are pissed about it. We want bad lives. Our lives are too good now. This isn't okay. It's confirmed that this isn't just like a dream world. Okay, this isn't like Maruki is trapped you in some fake reality.
There's no red pill. There's no blue pill. Right. There's just a good life.
Maruki has just literally snapped his fingers and made the world better. You can also see in his palace, he is actively asking people what they need and changing the world to be better for people. He is improving everyone's lives objectively, okay? And the party does not ever for a second think, that's fine. This isn't a problem. They're like, no, we want our shitty reality. You know this how we've been saying that the reality is terrible and society's broken this whole game? We changed our minds. We actually like that society's broken.
We want to change society, but we don't want to get radical with it.
Which I think you would probably like because it feels very SMT.
I do love that.
Like, I want my destiny, good or bad. I want to make my own choices.
Does the Demiurge make continued appearances while this is going on?
I don't know what that means.
Yaldabaoth, big Holy Grail man.
Oh yeah. No, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. Well, I mean, good.
Maruki has all of his magic powers.
This all takes place after that happens.
So
are you just chilling with Satanael while this is going on?
No. Let me explain. Okay, right. Canonically, after you kill Yaldabaoth, right, you become God.
Sick.
Okay, you're never conscious of the fact that you've become God, and instead you subconsciously give your powers of godhood to Maruki for reasons.
Oh.
And so Maruki just wakes up and he's just like, oh, I'm God now. Well, I guess I'll make the world a better place. And you're like, whoa, Chotamate. That's not okay.
You're going a little too far there, don't you think, buddy?
Making the world better? That's not cool.
You want to get to adequate and you want to stop right there.
Yeah,
that's the type of God I want to worship.
In Royal, you go and you stop Maruki from making the world better. You re-kill Futaba's mom and Haru's dad and all of these different people.
Why you gotta word it this way? You personally come in and you drive that car and you make sure you finish the job.
You do though, because she's literally alive. She is literally resurrected from the dead.
He just looked Futaba in the eye like, this is your mom, this one's yours.
Yeah.
He just like put a pillow on her face and like, keep going.
Genuinely happy. And then you guys are just like, nope, we're gonna kill you. We're gonna kill you. We're gonna kill Haru's dad. I mean, okay, let's be clear. You don't literally kill them, but you stop Maruki, which then kills them, right? You're not pulling the trigger, but you are forcing Maruki to pull it. And he's just like actively crying, begging you to let him.
I don't want to kill your friend's mom. I don't want to kill your friend's mom.
The funny thing is Maruki also is never violent against you. You stroll up to his palace and he's just like, hey, guys, chill. Can we just talk real quick?
Yeah, this does sound SMT. I think I like this.
And you're like, hey, Maruki, what's up? And he's just like, hey, so I want to let you know I rewrote the world. Hold on. It's better now. If you have concerns, let me know what the concerns are.
My office
what do you want
hours
to change?
Are from 4 to 6.
Like, literally, let's just sit and can we talk about it? And you're just like, fuck no.
I want violence. No. I got a gun. I'm a teen and I got a gun.
Now,
and it rumbles when I fire and it feels real good.
Rumbling.
Rumbling is coming.
The good news, though, is that Akechi gets a social link, and Akechi's social link is one of the best. You also get a new party member who is Yoshizawa. She has one of the best social links. I love her.
I feel like I've stumbled upon things like I've spoiled myself a little bit on the Sumi situation, and I wish I hadn't. But yeah. It would have been rad if I
didn't get a spoiler for that stuff, and that I think was compelling and interesting.
Yeah.
Then there's also Maruki is a social link. which, I mean, spoilers, he's also the villain.
And he kills Futaba's mom. Well, no, you kill Futaba's mom. Never mind.
He brings Futaba's mom back from the dead and is just like, hey, I've made Futaba happy. And you're just like,
that
like
makes
her
me
sad.
unhappy. I want to feel needed.
Just like, okay.
Oh, that's
chill.
a little looking weird, Joker. Looking a little sus, Joker.
I genuinely don't even remember why we started talking on this line.
Shoot. I don't know.
Persona 5's bad.
Persona 5 is not bad. You should buy it. You should buy it at full retail price. It will be discounted, but you should buy it at full retail price.
Should we also, at this point, now that we've gotten all of our egregious opinions out of the way, clarify that we both love 5 and 4?
We both love 5 and 4.
Yeah. We're arguing, I think the way we put it is we're arguing between 9s and 10s.
That's correct. This is correct. We are splitting hairs here.
I think you think more favorably of 4 than I think of 5, I think.
Probably.
I have a lot of issues with 5, and that's because I put a lot of weight in Persona games specifically for the story and for the writing, because they are literally like 70% visual novel.
That's very true.
JRPGs are already like 20% visual novel.
Yeah. I should clarify a bit of a personal bias that I have between the ones that I favor. I played Persona 3 when I first moved out for college, right? And in that sense, Persona 3 was kind of like the perfect game to play at the perfect time. And it's hard to separate myself from this. So I was taking a historical archetypes and mythology was the name of the class, HAM, at the point that I was playing Persona 3 and getting introduced to SMT stuff at the first time. So I would pour hours and hours just reading Persona descriptions. It was my favorite pastime. I probably spent more time in the Velvet Room than anywhere else. I played Persona 5 after I graduated college and moved out of state and was building my social network from the ground up, so to speak. My social network, my links, boy. I remember I would come home from work and I would play Persona 5 afterwards, and I would have the social link music playing at the time, because it came with a pre-order soundtrack CD. So I'd go out, hang out with friends, on the drive back, play the post social link music. And it just felt like real life. It felt like life was something to model after Persona 5, right? And low key, I think it kind of did. I think it kind of worked. I had Persona 3 and Persona 5 are very emotionally resonant for me. There's not really a landmark when I played Persona 4. I just kind of played it like any other video game. It was a little off put by some of the inconsistencies with the rest of the franchise. But I had a good time. I watched the anime. I laughed at the memes. And I went on with my life. I should know, for Arena, if you haven't gone through the Labrys storyline, I think Labrys is the most compelling character in the Persona 4 roster, but she's a little unofficial despite being canon, so it's weird to grapple. Yeah. I'm largely gonna ignore Arena as part of this discussion.
Yeah.
But Labrys is great. You should hang out with Labrys. You'll cry. I cried. In 4, I think probably the Nanako and Dojima interactions are probably the bits that stick with me the most, and also the conversation regarding sexual identity in Persona 4. I don't necessarily know if I'm the most qualified to talk about such a subject.
We did kind of just completely gloss over that. I know that there are a lot of people in the LGBTQ community that have a lot of different opinions about specifically the way that Kanji and Naoto are written.
I don't necessarily know if I have the right take.
Yeah, we're both straight cis men. Who we're not really the people that should be talking about those issues.
Right. I was here to listen.
Opinions on them. But
full disclosure, I like Kanji and I like Naoto. I like them together too. I like them individually. Every arrangement of them, they're great, and I love them, and they're precious.
I also am willing to admit that there are potentially biases that I have, where maybe there are legitimate problematic things that are in there that I just don't recognize.
Yeah, and also I'm not playing this from a Japanese perspective, right? So there's also that angle to it. So I don't know if I can weigh in too much there, but TLDR, I like them. I like the themes that are handled here. Yeah. But I feel the way the themes of identity are handled in Persona 4 are not handled in such a it feels like such a loose theme compared to how potent the theme of death and rebellion are in the rest of the franchise. Not to say that it's not there, right? We're still talking 9s and 10s, right?
Yeah.
But at least Persona 4 didn't personally resonate with me the way 3 and 5 did. And that's probably the crux of my argument, and potentially the crux of yours too, right?
Yeah. I mean, I do think that at the end of the day, the Persona series are filled with great RPGs.
Except for Persona 1. Sorry, guys. That's the actual answer to this.
If you haven't played any of, like, if there's any Persona game, if you haven't played 3, 4, or 5, whichever one you haven't played, you should give them a try.
You should give them a try.
If you enjoyed any of the previous ones, you're going to probably enjoy another
If you haven't played a JRPG other than Pokemon, your mind's about to get busted wide open.
Yeah. Start with 3 because we didn't spoil anything.
Yeah.
Start with 3.
Go to 3.
We didn't spoil 3 because you should play 3.
Hopefully, by the time this makes its way to the inner tubes, we get the idealized, like, enhanced edition of our dreams.
They just announced it.
Right
look
now.
At that.
Wow.
Just Google it. They announced it right now. That's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Anyway, come in my comments and tell me that Persona 5 is the best.
Tell me Persona 4 is the best.
Well, don't do that.
Check out, we've got different social media stuff.
Yeah.
We've got a TikTok now.
We got TikToks. We got Spotify.
Which is more popular than our actual YouTube
It's
channel.
a little weird. I wasn't ready for that.
Check it out.
One. Yeah.
We've got the Spotify. We've got podcast versions.
We're available on like Amazon podcasts as well.
That's weird.
That is weird, isn't it? Feels a little too legitimate.
You know what? I'm just gonna say it right now. Fuck Amazon. Don't listen to us on Amazon.
Yeah, just listen to us on Spotify. YouTube's great. Listen to us while you work. I want to say, like, the ideal way to experience this: put us in the background while you're doing something else. Have a good time.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Like the comments, the subscribe. There's a notification bell you can.
Yeah, there's a notification bell. If you post in the comments, I will respond and probably agree with you if you agree with me. We can reinforce each other. We can have a bit of a parasocial relationship.
Check out the Mario 64 episode if you haven't.
Yeah.
That
that'll be
one,
coming.
I think I was drunk for that episode. This is alcohol. This is literally
I only
alcohol.
drank this much today, but
I drank this
in
much,
the Mario episode, I'm pretty sure that's bottomed out.
Yeah, we were like,
I went a little nuts. I'm gonna be honest.
It's a wild one. I haven't edited it yet. I don't know exactly what I said in it.
All right.
Anyways, watch our other shit. I don't know.
Have a good one.
Peace out.
Bye.